Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the issue that's going to blow up in Port Charles on Monday, February 9, and honestly, where do we even start? Because there's so much happening simultaneously. It's like the writers decided to cram every possible storyline into one explosive episode, and we're here for it, but also completely overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of what's about to go down, starting with Britt Westbourne, who finds herself in yet another compromising situation at General Hospital, where she works, but apparently she's been moonlighting somewhere else too, and that somewhere else happens to be Windermere, of all places, which if you know anything about the history of that castle and the Cassadine family, you'd understand why this is such a massive red flag. But let's back up for a second and really dive into what's happening here, because Britt is late again, and Elizabeth Baldwin is standing there trying to figure out what's going on with her colleague and friend, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a scalpel, which is fitting since they work in a hospital, right? And Elizabeth is attempting to diffuse what appears to be a brewing confrontation between Britt and one of the co-chiefs of staff, though we're not entirely sure which one it could be, Terry Randolph, or it could be someone else entirely, but whoever it is, they're not happy about Britt's tardiness. And her excuses are wearing thin, like really thin, to the point where Elizabeth actually asks her point blank, should they just tell everyone that she's late because she's been moonlighting at Windermere? And sure, Elizabeth might be halfway kidding when she says this, but the thing is, she's actually hitting closer to the truth than she realizes, because Britt has been spending time at Windermere, and the question becomes, why exactly is she there so frequently? Is she involved with someone? Is she doing medical work for the Cassadines? Is there something more sinister going on? Because, let's be real, nothing good ever comes from spending too much time at that gothic nightmare of a castle. And apparently Lucas Jones might have even mentioned seeing Britt at Windermere, which would explain how this information is circulating through the hospital grapevine. Because Port Charles is basically a small town where everyone knows everyone else's business within approximately 5 minutes of it happening. And the hospital staff are some of the biggest gossips in the entire city, despite their Hippocratic oath supposedly preventing them from discussing patient information, but personal drama, that's fair game apparently. Elsewhere in Port Charles, we've got Kristina Corinthos Davis, who's having a conversation with Jacinda Bracken, and this interaction is loaded with so much subtext in history that you need a roadmap to navigate it all, because Kristina tells Jacinda straight up that she's really looking forward to Michael Corinthos proving Jacinda wrong, and Jacinda just looks at her completely clueless like she has absolutely no idea what Kristina is talking about, which is either genuine confusion or really good acting. And let's remember the context here, shall we? Because Kristina actually tried to pay Jacinda to leave town. Can you imagine being so desperate to get someone away from your brother that you literally offer them money to disappear? That's some serious desperation right there. And Kristina was worried that Jacinda's involvement with Michael would make everything worse, which, considering how things are going in Michael's life right now, might have been a valid concern. But Jacinda didn't take the money, and she didn't leave town, and in fact she returned the money, which shows either integrity or stubbornness, or maybe both, and now she's still working at Crimson Magazine, where Michael got her the job in the first place, even though she clashes with Nina Reeves on a regular basis, because of course she does. Nina clashes with pretty much everyone these days, and Jacinda is still involved with Michael romantically, or at least they're still seeing each other in some capacity. And the whole situation is just this tangled web of family drama, business complications, and romantic entanglements that only a soap opera could manage to create with such intricate detail. But what exactly does Kristina mean when she says she's looking forward to Michael proving Jacinda wrong? Wrong about what exactly is it about his character? Is it about his legal situation? Is it about his relationship capabilities? We don't know yet, but it's intriguing, isn't it? Meanwhile, over at the Quartermain Mansion, which is that sprawling estate that's seen more drama than most theaters, Michael himself is confiding in Brooklyn Quartermain Chase. And you can tell by the look on Brooklyn's face that what she's hearing is deeply concerning, because she asks him directly, you really think you're going to be arrested and charged for shooting Drew, don't you? And the fact that she has to ask this question at all tells you how serious the situation has become, because earlier in this whole mess, Harrison Chase, who's Brooklyn's husband and also a detective with the PCPD, noticed a key that Willow planted on Michael's keyring, which is such a calculated move, it's almost diabolical. And if Chase noticed it, then other people are going to notice it too, and that key is likely evidence that could link Michael to the shooting of Drew. Kane. Which is ironic because, as we'll get to in a minute, Willow is actually the one who shot Drew, but she's letting Michael take the fall, or at least that's how it's shaping up, and Michael is probably right to be concerned about being arrested because the evidence is mounting against him, even though he's innocent, and all he can think about right now are his children, Wiley and Amelia, and keeping them safe from all of this chaos. And whether he likes it or not, he's going to have to comply with the visitation agreement, because if he doesn't, that's just going to make him look more guilty and give prosecutors more ammunition against him. And it's such a horrible position to be in when you're innocent, but the evidence says otherwise. And the person you love and married is the actual guilty party, but she's manipulated the situation so thoroughly that you're the one facing prison time. Back at General Hospital again, because apparently that's where all roads lead today. Dante Falconeri is being absolutely insistent about something, and he's asking someone how far do they think they could push him, and you can hear the edge in his voice, that warning tone that says he's running out of patience. And it looks like Dante might be searching for evidence of something at the hospital, and whoever he's dealing with is being less than cooperative, which is never a good look when a cop is asking questions, especially a cop like Dante, who's known for being thorough and persistent. And there are a couple of possibilities here, right? He might be a little suspicious about Drew's stroke and whether it was entirely natural or if there was foul play involved, because Drew's condition came on pretty suddenly and the circumstances surrounding it are questionable, to say the least. Or maybe Dante is the person that Britt is clashing with, and Elizabeth has to defuse the tension between them because Dante has questions about Britt's activities or her patience or something related to the hospital that intersects with one of his ongoing investigations. And either way, Dante is not someone you want to cross when he's in detective mode, because he will dig and dig until he finds what he's looking for. And the truth has a way of coming out in Port Charles eventually, even when people try really hard to keep it buried. But here's where things get really dark and twisted, because we need to talk about what's happening at home between Willow Kane and her husband, Drew, who she's supposedly taking care of, but taking care of is putting it mildly, when what she's actually doing is holding him prisoner in his own body. Because Willow stunned Drew when she told him that she was the one who shot him, not Michael, and she wants Drew to know in absolutely no uncertain terms that she's the one in control now, and she's not taking any more of his, what exactly, his manipulation, his control, his abuse, his affairs, whatever it was that drove her to shoot him in the first place. And she literally hisses in his face. All of that ends now, and the venom in her voice is palpable, and all Drew can do is blink once for yes and twice for no, because he has locked-in syndrome, which is the same condition that Ryan Chamberlain faked way back when to escape justice and manipulate people. But Drew isn't faking it. His is real, and it means he understands everything that's happening around him, every word, every action, every terrifying moment, but he can't move, he can't speak, he can't fight back, he can't call for help, he can't defend himself. He's completely trapped inside his own body, and that's exactly what his sadistic wife is taking advantage of. And when you really think about it, this is one of the most horrifying scenarios imaginable, because Drew is fully conscious and aware, but completely helpless. And Willow, who was once this sweet maternal figure, has transformed into something much darker, someone who's capable of shooting a man and then using his disability against him to maintain control and keep him quiet about who really pulled the trigger. And she's letting Michael potentially go to prison for her crime while she plays the devoted wife caring for her invalid husband, when in reality, she's his captor and tormentor. And you have to wonder how long she thinks she can maintain this facade before someone starts asking questions. Before someone notices something off about Drew's condition or the situation at home, before the guilt becomes too much to bear, or before Drew finds some way to communicate the truth, because surely there must be some way. Even with locked-in syndrome, there are eye-tracking devices there. are ways to communicate. And if Drew can blink responses to yes or no questions, then theoretically, he could spell out messages letter by letter and expose what Willow has done. But maybe that's exactly what she's preventing. Maybe she's isolated him completely. Maybe she's controlling who has access to him and what kind of medical care he receives. And this whole situation just keeps getting darker the more you think about it.